this book, Do the Next Right Thing, this phrase, I didn't invent it. I borrowed it from somebody, but I'll take credit for it now. Really came out of, people will come to me and they will, in a half an hour, will unwrap this tangled web, this story of struggle and abuse and defeat and, who knows what. And I listen with empathy, but because I'm a pastor, a lot of times they'll turn to me and say, well, what is God's will? What does God want me to do now? And I've had to say, maybe not quite this bluntly, but I don't have a clue. There is no one thing you can do to get yourself out of bankruptcy court. There's no one thing you can do to untangle this abusive relationship. I can share with you the love of God. I'm going to pray with you. I'll hug you if you want me to. I'll encourage you. But what you need to do is the next right thing. So maybe you need to call your attorney. Maybe you need to make that phone call and set up an appointment with somebody. What's the next right thing? And I really believe if we do that and it accumulates, the horizon begins to change for people, including myself. Well, I don't know exactly what to do about this transition, but I can start writing down my thoughts. I can start talking to people. I can take a trip to Port Charlotte, Florida, and ask my buddy Joe. I can do. In other words, there's a lot of incremental. I've said I'm a raging incrementalist because there are just so many things when you keep pursuing something step by step by step. And, we walk with God. We don't pole vault with God. And he takes us at a pedestrian pace. And what happens is the horizon tends to open up, not only because of what we discover, but because I believe what God shows us. And it may not be a blinding light. It's just somebody comes along with new information and there you go. Or help. Somebody makes child's play out of what we thought was a hopeless snarl of complexity. And so that's what the book is really about. How do you walk when you don't have the final answer? You just know that it's foggy and you need to do something.
And pulling out, you call them handholds. And I love the metaphor, the climbing metaphor. It's so powerful that you use in pulling out those lessons from 2 Peter 1.
Yeah.
Very powerful. And this incremental thing connects with me too, because on a number of conversations that I've had with people, there seems to be this assumption that we should know the target, the spot, the bullseye.
Yeah.
What is that one thing that God wants me to do or that I should be doing? And I'll be totally messed up if I don't hit that bullseye.
I think it's especially prominent with Christians that they feel like there ought to be a simple answer. The whole thing of what is God trying to teach me? Well, he is teaching you, but it may not be one lesson. It may be make the phone call, change the way you talk to your wife, change the tone of the dinner table conversation, try to reconnect with your daughter through a text today. There's 1,000 things that God may be showing you that you already know how to do. It's not a blinding light or a new galaxy that he's going to drop on you. So I don't want to oversimplify it, or I don't want to denude it of supernatural power or miracles, but I think that's the way most of us need to navigate.
Hey, thanks for joining me today on Titans of Transition. I hope you enjoyed the episode. Please check the show notes for additional information.